The initial process always feels like trying to make a refrigerator fly to me because there's all this stuff that needs to happen, and it just feels like it takes forever and is impossible. And then finally the car is loaded up and the materials are paid for, and there you go. When I'm painting, I'm looking at the bricks half the time and thinking, this particular brick is horrible, and I had to paint this same brick 34 years ago or 30 years ago. And that's just such an amazing thought, that I'm going over the same terrain as this different and same person. So that those two opposing factors make kind of an interesting clash to me that I was trying to draw into the work. This neighborhood has a huge thoroughfare running through it, and you get a block away and it's quiet. I like painting this fairly calm scene with its calm colors and its very intentional style in the middle of this noise. Oops. I haven't painted probably a big thing like this for 25 years. Let's see, it was 1986 probably. They asked me to come over and talk with them about doing a mural. They had this space chosen. And I keep thinking, God, when I designed this, what was I thinking? Having all these straight edges and all these little points is just really hard to do. On the other hand, I have to be grateful that I designed it without thinking about any of that stuff. There's been a mural project up and down Snelling Avenue, and the guy who won a grant to work on that project a few years ago is still continuing on to do it past the grant and raising money. And so anyway, he called me a couple years ago wanting to know if I'd be interested in repainting. And I got excited about the idea of redoing it, partly as like this journey into my past and to see what it would feel like to do something so big again, and partly just to restore it because it was so faded and it didn't look anything like it had when I first finished it. And this, it helps quite a bit. My hand falls asleep sometimes while I'm painting, and that's kind of, it means stop. It's amazing how doing this makes me feel a little bit young and wild. So, yeah, I ran out of paint, that color, because of spreading it around on my clothes and stuff. It's maybe a little slower than I thought it would be. The wall is also a little bigger than I thought it would be. They asked me not to change the design, and so it feels very weird not to kind of tweak it every here and there. I'm saying, is that the way it was originally? Am I going a little bit off? Does it matter if I go a quarter of an inch off when the thing is over 70 feet long? People have been very worried about the faces of the people over there and when I'm going to do their bodies and whether I will do it and what they're going to look like. I'm just going to have to do it and then put up with the repercussions. That's the performance art part of this whole routine. Trying to make it look right for people, because it is really, really personal and has to do with art, and yet when I'm here it also has to do with this whole physical performance thing. Thanks! People just walk up and start talking about stuff. It's like I'm a bartender or something. I'm an artist, but then there's this other part of the job where people walk by and they want to talk, and my larger job in the world is to be a human being who's available for people to talk to and tell me whatever they need to tell me. For a while I was telling people that after I was done painting I was still going to show up here and pretend to be painting, because I just like being here and talking to the people and being outside and seeing other people going to and from work.
Looking beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Well, there's some good work there.
Thanks. There's a push when aging to make one's life a little smaller in anticipation of getting even older. And this is definitely the opposite of downsizing. You know, I'm not trying to get rid of stuff. I'm not trying to keep it all very safe. Instead, I'm doing something big that often seems impossible, and that just feels so liberating. There's also this sort of Olympic thing, like there are some little points that are really hard to get such a big brush into, and when I get it in, it's kind of like, she stuck it, you know? It's like, oh, God, that was brilliant. At this point, I'm not certain if it looks like it did when I first finished it, but this is how it looks when I second finished it, so it's kind of like, okay. I wish everyone could have a chance to go back to something that they did when they were 30 at the age of 64, 34, 64, and feel that feeling. It's like nothing else.